Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea and I hope you feel at home here. I like to talk about all things home, and that includes healthy home habits and home decor and interior design and organization. So if you like any of those things, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's just chat about all the fun home things. So today's video is going to be a lot of organizing, and I have some tips that I think will help us out with that. So when it comes to decluttering and organizing, I think it's really important to remember that we can just start with one small space. We don't have to do an entire room, don't have to start with a pantry. We can just start with a drawer, or we could start with a closet, or we could start with a shelf. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. So today I'm going to be doing a single cabinet, and I have less than an hour to do it. And I think we can get it done. Like, I'm pretty confident that we can go through it, get it organized, and get rid of some stuff in the process, and not buy any organizational materials. Welcome to my living room. I figured we could go on location a little bit and do just a couple things that I have been putting off for a little while. So if you've been here long enough, I have done a decluttering video before, and it was in my kitchen. And I've done a closet declutter as well. And so today we are in my living room, similar to the other ones where I really only have a nap time to make this happen. So we are going to organize this cabinet, which is my cabinet. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 of these units, and there's different ones in each unit, and me and my husband both have one, and my daughter has one too. And so we're going to organize my cabinet because it is overflowing. Like, all of this stuff is also mine, and I need it all to go in here so that this can look nice and pretty. So that is what we're going to do today. So my hope when I film decluttering videos is that it'll make decluttering and organizing a little bit more attainable for normal people. I love watching decluttering videos. I really enjoy cleaning while I have the decluttering video on. So if you need to declutter something, you just feel free to put this on the background and we can declutter together. So like I said before, this cabinet is mine. So it's got all of my craft supplies and all of my, just like everything that is mine. So I'm just going to take everything out and then we can reorganize it. So one of my favorite parts of decluttering, or one of my favorite things about decluttering, is that it doesn't have to be the entire house all at once. You can just do it a little piece at a time. And so that's why I'm doing just one cabinet today. It'd be really tempting to go through every single cabinet and my bookshelves, and that's just not possible because, I mean, I only have an hour, and then 2, it's a lot of like brain energy that it just takes a lot of emotional energy and brain energy to do that. And so if you can do one tiny space, like a week, it's gonna add up over time for sure. So we're gonna do this cabinet, and it's just going to be a small declutter, but it's going to solve a lot of problems. Like, all of this up here will have a home, and everything else will be in its proper place. So that is something that's really helpful, is doing one little space at a time. So we're going to do the cabinet today. I got these old vintage magazines. Like, they're real vintage magazines, and I've been trying to find some cool ads, but they're all pretty offensive. So they're not ones I'd actually want to have like hung up in my house in like a real way. Like, they're kind of more of a haha, isn't that insane kind of way. But even in the irony, I wouldn't really want to have that hung up in my house. So I don't know. I have a lot of papers in here from trips we went on this summer. So like maps and stuff. So that's like papers. And I just have a ton of art supplies that is crazy. I mostly do watercolor and crochet, so that is a lot of the art supplies that I have, is yarn and paint. Shutterfly, of course, and I love these little things. Books that I am borrowing and have been borrowing for the last 2 years that I'm just not going to get to anytime soon. So I'm going to give these back to my brother-in-law because I borrowed them from him and I still haven't read them and I'm really sorry. But I will give them back to him like in a couple weeks. So let's see. I have some books that I need to return, like to the bookstore. Journals. This one is actually my house like renovation journal and like my plans for the house, so I need to keep that. And this is a travel sketchbook. These are duplicates. These are duplicates of books that I bought that I need to resell because, like I said, they're duplicates, but I've been collecting American Girl chapter books for my daughter. I've been trying to find like the original printings of them at thrift stores, and that's been a really fun treasure hunt for me. But those are extras, so I need to get rid of those. This is paint and pens. So art supplies and calendar and this is fabric swatches that I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. I want to do an art project with them because I love the texture of them all, but we'll see. We will see. So if you have any ideas of what to do with your fabric swatches, be sure to put those down below because I need some more ideas of what to do. I'm just hoarding them. I've been hoarding them for like 8 years because I just don't know what to do, but I want to keep them because I love them. These are all of my watercolor finished works and practices. Fiberfill for stuffies. I used to play Dungeons and Dragons pretty regularly, so this are my my dice. My dice collection. I also have a really pretty set of opalite gemstone dice in a very beautiful wooden case, but those are stored in a different place because those are actually like really nice. But I used to play for several years. We used to meet once a week and play for like 4 hours a week, and it was really fun and just a different phase of life. I'm probably gonna hang on to the dice though because I do love my collection of dice. So it's not taking up that much space. So speaking of, this is my character, or one of them from a while back. I like to play the druid characters. Anyways, and my D&D binder with all of my characters I've ever played. So that's some lore that you didn't maybe know about me. This is a stuffy that I made for my daughter for Christmas this year. So that needs to go in my closet because I'm a real mom now, so I get to hide presents in my closet for my kids, and so that needs to go in my closet with all the other secret presents. And yarn. Some of this I'm gonna see if I can give away to some friends who like to crochet. So we'll see. I'll put these in a pile. This one, brown. I'm more into like bright colors now, I think. So all the dark or more neutral ones. This is a pretty one. I always use white though, so I'm gonna keep all the white. And I'll keep this yellow. And I think I'm gonna get rid of the brown because I don't really use the brown. And this is a blanket I made. So it's very pretty, very cute, but doesn't belong in here. Probably belongs in my bedroom, to be honest. This is crochet stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, I have these little beanies. I made these for my daughter like when she was born, but they were way too small, obviously, but I think they'll fit on like her baby doll that we got her for Christmas. So I think I'm gonna put those in with her Christmas gifts too. And then I made a daisy granny square blanket a couple years ago. And these are extra squares. And then I've been attempting to make like a Black Eyed Susan version. So I have all these little flowers, but I so did not enjoy the process of making the granny square blanket last time that it's been taking me a couple years to finish this one because it's just a big project. So I always feel bad now when I see granny square crafts at the thrift store. Like I've bought a couple because it's just, someone probably spent like hundreds of hours making it and it's just there for like $5 at the thrift store. So I always try to buy those now because I feel bad. Okay, now we're getting into, this is like stickers and stationery and instruction manual for the iron that I used a while back, which is trash. See, we're all holding on to trash. And I need to use these more, honestly, because I always forget that I have cute little cards to like send people. I just always forget. And this is a flag that I need to get a frame for. So that is from my dad. Thank you, Dad, for my flag. I still don't have a frame yet, but I'm working on it. And these are all my yearbooks. Oh, what are you guys doing with your yearbooks? I feel so embarrassed to put them like on my actual bookshelf up above. That's why they're down here hidden in secrecy. I don't mind like the little kid ones as much, but I just don't know if I want to stare at like my high school ones quite as much. I don't know. What are you guys doing with them? I'm not really sure. I don't want to throw them away or anything, but I don't know if I need to store them on the bookshelf. So if you have any ideas about that, let me know down below because I need help. I'm probably gonna leave them down here for now because I don't really want to look at them. So that's a whole, what is that, like a sixth of the whole thing is just yearbooks. So yeah, interesting. Oh, and then I have more stuff up here. I have this. Ooh. Right now it's kind of crazy, but this is a wallet, but it holds crochet needles, actually. I got this at an estate sale and I thought that was such a nifty thing. I just need to organize it a little better so it actually closes. And my scissors for crochet, more yarn. I just made my daughter a hat for the winter with this red yarn and it's so fun and so bright and I love it. And then I have, this needs to go to my bedroom. These are books I'm currently reading. So I've been reading this one. This is another one. I've been reading this one for a few months now. I kind of had to stop in the middle because like I had some life stuff happen, but I've been borrowing this from a friend. Never read it before, but it's been really good. I made it to, I'm using a coaster as a bookmark right now, but I've made it to that far. And it's really good. I recommend it so far. But hopefully I'll finish that. It'll probably be in January or February when I'll finish it, because I have a couple other books I want to read coming up. But I do have it, so that's good. And then everything else can stay up there for now. Those are Shutterfly pictures, not sponsored, obviously. But I print out photos every single year and put them in a photo album. And that's just what I like to do. I've been doing that for a while now. And so those are all ones actually from last year that I need to put in chronological order and label the album and put in the album. So hopefully I can do that in a couple weeks. And then I can order this past year's pictures, and hopefully I'll be caught up by then. So I'm usually about a year behind, but that's not too bad. Okay, so now's the fun part. So I really only had a couple things. I need to go through this little bin right here. So this is the pile of all the stuff. And can you believe all that fit in the cabinet? This all fit in that cabinet. So I need to just go through this bin right here. And I think everything else is kind of on its own item. Go ahead. And I think I'm going to put this in a memory box, actually, my Dungeons and Dragons binder with my most recent character, because I'm not playing that right now. And I don't foresee playing that for a while, just because I'm too busy and, quite frankly, too tired to be playing right now. But maybe one day. Plus, it's fun to have the memories of all the characters I had. So this will go in a memory box. I'll keep the clipboard for art things. I'll keep the dice out because you never know when you need dice. And this is like my travel watercolor set. So everything in here is stuff that I use often. This can go in a memory photo album. Here, so this is trash. These are trash. This is all trash. This is trash right here. So trash pile. And then I have a bunch of stickers that I still like, so I'll keep all the stickers. And I might see if anyone wants these vintage magazines. They're cool. This is from 1934. I might cut out the letter from Mrs. Franklin D. Roosevelt about child labor. I might do that one because that one's so interesting. But I don't know about these other ones. I'll probably see if a friend wants them. So I'll keep one over here. Put these over here. This is craft supplies. This needs to go away. This is crafts. Away. And this is all my unfinished crochet projects. Let me see if I can organize these crochet needles real quick. They're like actual real needles in here. This one's little needles. So I need to maybe go in here. Oh yeah, I'll put them in the little crease, and then I can throw away this trash. Put these in here. Put this one here. That fit. Kind of just, so mine don't exactly match the rest of the set, but I'm just gonna put them in here and it'll still close. Zipped up. This. Struggling. Here. All the crochet needles. And I will put them in my bin crochet projects. also have a bag of crochet projects that I'm not sure I'm going to finish. So, but I'll keep these in this box right here. Put the lid, put this on here, lid on. There you go. Crochet. So I will put these here again. I do think that's a nice spot. And I'll put the yarn I'm definitely going to keep with that. And try to put it in like rainbow order. Is that too much? No, never too much. There. Is that. And this down here. I am gonna put this back down here. I think those were in pretty good spots already. And then this box, I think I'm going to keep all of this stuff. Ooh. How cool. This is mine literally from the 90s. I have one piece left. One piece of that bee stationery. And I'm saving it for something fun and special. And this is just instruction manuals, trash. I also have my magic cards. I never play, so, but I'm gonna keep my deck just in case. And then I have some Fievel Goes West trading cards that my husband got me because I love that movie. I'm not saying it's a great movie, but I love it. I think it's so fun. Do that, and I think that is all I'm going to put in here. Yeah, I think so. I think that's it. This back down there. That's nice. And I want to put all the books I'm currently reading up here in this corner, so they're like easy for me to grab whenever I come in here to read in the morning. This is technically for army miniatures, but I've been using it to cut other things on it. So, don't know. Here. This might go in the actual craft bin. I have a craft cabinet. That might have to be a future video because it is also insane. So, okay, my watercolor box. This is like all my extra watercolor stuff. I am probably going to get rid of these. I don't really use these, even traveling. Can you tell? Or, I don't know. I might see if someone wants those. Then a cartographer's kit for drawing maps, and a bunch of pencils and colored pencils and watercolor colored pencils. This can stay in here. And this is just some, I need to take these out, I think. Because I think I want to, do I have any more paper in here? It's all sticky as the tape. There we go. Yeah, these, yeah. I was practicing Paddington a little bit ago. And then I also was just practicing some fun little thingies. So, nothing crazy. I like really messy watercolor, so that's what that is. And then this is good watercolor. Oh, I also, some of these ones when I was traveling. So, some fun ones. Put those in here, I think, and then this extra watercolor stuff can go down here. This. And these I need to keep, put these up here. And this one, I put this in the corner. Actually, that and watercolor, travel set, fabric for crafts. I think I'll put down here. Completed watercolors. Put it right under here. This, that, and polyfill. Unfortunately, I do need to keep this, even though it's huge, because I do make stuffies for people and friends. Put that right there. Just kind of expands. And I think everything else has a different home that it's going to, or hopefully going to. I just want to say from the first observation of it, obviously it's not a perfectly labeled system. There aren't a ton of pretty baskets or really even like clear containers. I also didn't buy anything to organize this. All I've been doing is just take everything out and really take a hard look at what am I using, what am I holding on to, and what actually just does not belong in this cabinet and belongs somewhere else. I think that was most of what I have now is a pile of trash, a pile of stuff I'm gonna see if anybody wants, and things that just belong to other people, like books I've borrowed, or future gifts for Christmas or birthdays, or just stuff that belongs in a different cabinet. There's so much advice out there for how to organize, and I think it can be helpful just to watch someone organize for a little while and just kind of see what the process actually looks like. I declutter and organize pretty regularly just because I am a pack rat and I just kind of like stow things away. So eventually that cabinet or that drawer or that closet gets really full of just stuff that doesn't belong there. And so I do this pretty regularly to the point where I can do it pretty quickly. Like right now on my camera, it says it took under 30 minutes to organize this. That doesn't include the time that I have to take to reach out to people or make sure that I'm shuttling things back to their right spot. Being able to look at your stuff, learning to know when things are trash. For example, if you're holding on to any kind of instructional manual for any kind of machine or technology, you really can recycle that and get rid of it, because all of these can be found online with a PDF. Every single one, even ones that are no longer in, like that are for sale anymore. If you have like the model number, or you can even take a picture of it and Google reverse search it and look for the PDF version of this. So you never need to have a paper version. So if you have those, just go ahead and throw them away. That's what the most of this paper is, or it's things that I thought that I would want to keep, but really I don't need to keep this thing when I have the official map right here that I actually like to collect, right? So I don't need both of these. I just need the one that I actually collect, and this one can be thrown away. So like I said, figuring out what's trash can be hard at first, but once you have that down, that's kind of the easiest part of decluttering. The second thing that's important to remember is to take note of whatever duplicates you find. I know some of us are pretty crafty and into little hobbies and things, which is awesome, but what products are you actually using and what do you enjoy using? I went through a beige phase and I'm no longer in that phase. So that color is just not something that I'm really going to be using for the next few years. So I can give that to someone else who might use it a lot sooner than me. Like if I ever need a brown, it's not going to be for like 4 years, and then I can just get some yarn in 4 years instead of having to store maybe yarn that I might use in 4 years. I think this is a good thing to consider too. You know, obviously getting rid of anything that is a duplicate is an obvious thing you should do. If you have anything that's a duplicate, you don't need it, just go ahead and get rid of it. It's really important for me to know that I have those and to take note that I'm buying duplicates. And that's for a couple reasons. One, I mean, it's kind of silly to have more than one thing if you already have the original thing. That really is just excess, and we just don't need that. It's also important because it helps you collect kind of like these data points into what you're spending your money on. So if you're buying multiples of an item, then maybe you're just not paying as much attention as you thought to the hobby that you're doing or the collection that you have. And obviously I'm speaking to myself on this with the books because I had duplicates for a collection that I'm trying to complete, right? And so if I have a collection like that, I should know what's missing enough to where I'm not buying a duplicate. And when I find one, I can pass it up. I don't have to buy it. I shouldn't have a compulsive need to buy something that's part of the collection, but a piece of it that I already own. And I think that leads us pretty easily into tip number 3, which is to address the real problem. So we can declutter as many times as we want. We can reorganize, we can buy new storage, and that's not gonna address the real problem, which is maybe we're just bringing too many items into our homes. And I'm speaking from experience when I say this. I love shopping. I've always loved shopping. I think I've said it in another video that I love like shop displays. They're so cute, and I used to really fall for those every time. And then a few years ago, I discovered secondhand shopping, which is a little bit different. However, it's the same problem, just dressed up as a little bit more ethical. And I think that's something that we need to remember, or I need to remember, I'm sure you all are all fine. It's something that we need to remember when we are going secondhand shopping. You still need to have a shopping list. For a lot of us, we think that storage is the problem, when actually it's the stuff that's the problem. And a step further, it's me. I'm the problem. And that problem is a shopping problem, even if it's secondhand, even if it's vintage, even if it's thrifted. If it's become a habit where you can't walk out of a store without buying something, or if you see something that is vintage or like those books and I'm like, oh, that's a part of my collection, I need to get those. And if I don't want them, then I'm sure someone else will. And to be quite frank with you, like, no, they won't. If you're not selling it on eBay, no one's gonna want it, and you just need to walk past it. I know that's some tough love. Sometimes we just need to hear these things in an explicit way. And I know for me, when I first got into thrifting, I just did not see it the same as real shopping. Like, buying things new obviously was a problem, but going thrifting every week and buying something every single time it was there, that wasn't, for some reason, until I realized my home was getting very full of just stuff that I didn't really need or that I wasn't really searching for. And now I keep a very specific list of these are the things that I'm looking for, and it has to meet this criteria for me to buy it. And that has significantly helped me a lot. That's helped me with shopping less, and it has helped me to be able to declutter less. Like I mentioned earlier, most of the stuff in my piles were things that belonged to other people that I was borrowing, or just belonged in a different cabinet in my home. They weren't things that I had to give away necessarily just because I had bought a ton of them. And that's a really nice place to be in, where I really wasn't there a few years ago. With decluttering, it can get pretty discouraging, especially if you're tackling a space that you haven't decluttered before. It can be really eye-opening to see all the stuff that you have that you don't need, because all of that stuff used to be money and now it's just stuff that you're throwing away. But what's really important to remember is that when you're starting this journey or you're maintaining it, that you can make decisions, little decisions that add up to really big changes in your life and can be so helpful. So if you decluttered with me during this video, let me know down below what you decluttered and how you decluttered it. And I hope you have a lovely weekend. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.